Hello.
Hello. We're back from Bologna, so we're going to have a Bologna debrief, aren't we?
We are.
We've got to do that brain dump first. I can't think of anything else until I've cleared that out of the way. Wasn't it brilliant?
I'm just laughing at... We got Graham to press record and leave the room, and we've started talking, and we've just heard the door close. We're too eager to get going about Bologna, aren't we? Wasn't it amazing? This is the first time I've seen you two since.
Yeah, because Helen had an adventure in Italy afterwards with her niece.
Yeah. So it's like Bologna happened, and the very next minute I was off on my travels with Holly, and all sorts happened. And I've not even really spoken about it. Holly and I reminisced about it a little bit when we were eating on evenings and stuff. But yeah, how did you two find it?
It was just so exciting, so inspirational, sociable, overwhelming. It was multiple things, wasn't it? And exciting and exhausting. We would every night we'd just have our face in a bowl of pasta, unable to speak anymore because we talked for 8 hours solid, I think, and stood up.
I don't know how publishers then have parties. Oh. We were straight home, pyjamas on. Your daughter cooked us a lovely meal each evening, and then we were in bed really cosy in bed really early, weren't we?
Yeah. And it was funny because we've been to Bologna before as a three. Just me and Helen went for like a day, was it? Mm-hmm. And then this year was the first time that we had an actual stand. And I think beforehand I was really worried. I was like, I don't know, how does it work? Will the things stick on the wall? What's going to happen?
That was really scary, wasn't it? Having a stand.
Yeah, Helen drew the incredible drawings. Evie, Tania's daughter, helped us map out the space and come up with a mood board. Tania organised the printing of the Velcro things. It was just like, it worked like magic.
We all had our role in it, and we put it all together. And then I went for a little walk around the other stands, and other people were putting their stands up. And then I came round the corner back to our stand, and I nearly fell over from how brilliant it looked. It just looked so handmade and colourful and inviting. I felt like I immediately knew that if there was an award for the best stand, we should win it.
Well, we did win an award, didn't we?
We basically bullied Chloe Savage into giving us the inaugural Chloe Savage Best Stand at the Fair Award, which she made out of cardboard.
And it was sponsored by ham, because that's all you eat in Bologna.
We ate so much. We must have eaten our body weight in ham in those first few days.
We did. I think the first meal we had was one of those sharing platters where they just make a mountain of ham, like
and
prosciutto and cheese.
Yeah.
And then we ate as much as we could of that. And then for the rest of the week, we're like, no more ham, please.
Ham of all variety.
But the award was so funny because I think we all experienced this. We received the award with lots of emotion, fake emotion, all the rest of it. And we just had a laugh. And then that was on Instagram. And then we got home and all the messages and all the people we saw at home, everyone was saying, I heard you won Best Stand, congratulations. I was like, it was a joke though. It wasn't a real award.
I couldn't decide how many people were going along with the joke because the post was so obviously a joke because the medal was made of cardboard and everything. Or whether people... I didn't know whether they were going along with the joke or they thought it was real. Yeah. But regardless, we won an award. Even if it was cardboard, we won an award.
So thank you for all your congratulatory messages.
Yeah.
What was really nice, after getting over the initial panic of, are these bits of polyester fabric really going to fit? Because I couldn't work out the plans and the print sizes. And when we got them on the wall, and they fitted to the millimetre, God, I was victorious. Yeah. And then we had a quick walk around like you did. And initially I thought, they've all got vinyl printed walls that are sleek and high resolution, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of it, I thought, ours is absolutely the best because it is like slightly wrinkled fabric with a big blown up Helen drawing that's so beautiful. And then we had
Not a drawing of me.
No, not a drawing of Helen.
Next time, we'll do that next time.
One of Helen's illustrations of Salty's cabin. It was just so sweet. It was a proper room. And then his swimming togs all hanging up on a washing line. They were 1970s swimwear that Helen had got off eBay.
I went a bit mad on eBay. I had to stop myself because this collection could get out of hand.
Oh, I think you must
I think they're going to go up in my bathroom now.
It's so good.
But there were the things hanging from the ceiling, like your lovely flags. It just made it such a physical space and not corporate at all, that over the following day, all our good shippers kept coming to see us. And I think it's because... remembering how we felt those first few times, like being outsiders, wandering it with slack-jawed amazement, thinking, what on earth is going on here? I feel like a tiny speck. But they all had a home to come to, so people were coming back, every couple of hours after they'd got footsore or done a walk round or had an interesting portfolio review. Or they would come back and tell us, and then everyone would hang around on the store. It was really nice. So I think we provided a home for the lost illustrators that we were when we came the first time. Like, where do I go and sit now? Or where do I calm myself down?
Yeah, definitely. And we talked about doing a rota, didn't we? We were like, oh, we'll make sure, we take time off and do the things. But in the end, I think we were also worried about missing something fun. But we basically all stayed on the stand the whole time.
I think maybe 2 or 3 times I decided to go for a little walk around.
Yeah, we got
but
lunch.
just had such terrible FOMO that I just wanted to be back. Also, to be fair, it was kind of hard to leave the stand because we had no idea how many people would visit the stand. And I think we took 1,500 stripy bags with little gifts in, and they were all gone by the end. So we saw at least 1,500 people minimum, because some people came over and had a chat and didn't take it. And we chatted with almost everybody who took a bag, didn't we?
People came with lots of different stories. And this, what I found surprising as well was, and really positive, lots of podcast listeners came and said, I haven't done any of your courses, but I listened to your podcasts and I've learned loads and it's been really, really helpful. It was great to meet them. And it was also great to think, oh, these are real people who listen to us chuntering in my front room. And it was motivating because I thought, oh, I can't wait to go home and do more podcasts because people really do listen to them.
Yeah, I spoke to somebody who was like, oh yeah, I've had my first published book and I haven't done any courses. I just listened to the podcast. And I was like, what? And that, yeah, like loads of people saying that it really helped that person. It actually helped them get a book deal just from listening. I was like, that's amazing.
It all adds up to something in the end. Who did you talk to, Helen? Do you remember any of you?
I had a really nice conversation with Steve Anthony, who wrote Mr. Panda. Thank you, Mr. Panda, and all those amazing books. It was such a good chat with him. Katie, you came over as well at one point, and we were all talking to him. What a lovely guy he is. I'd met him once or twice before, but I'd never really got to know him very well. And he was walking past, and I shouted him. I just accosted him and dragged him into the stand, and he was so lovely and generous, and he was talking about his route into illustration, and he used to work in a call centre and he was made redundant, so he had this little bit of money, which enabled him then to go and do the MA at Cambridge in children's book illustration. And while he was studying, he had maybe a couple of bereavements, at least one bereavement, and it was very difficult and he was having a hard time. But he said that all of those feelings around that bereavement while doing the course all fed into this work he did in the course. And almost every book he's done since, which is a lot, I don't know how many, but he's done a lot of books, were started on that MA course at Cambridge. Wow. And it was so good to hear somebody who'd come through that different route. It was different conversations from everybody, wasn't it? It was really interesting.
You talking about the Cambridge school, they were only 3 stands away from us, weren't they? So it was really nice. I think they put us in an educational corner. And so they put Cambridge and somewhere else, the Irish Illustrators Association, with us. So we had loads of chats with illustrators who'd done Find Your Creative Voice and then used that portfolio to go onto the MA at Cambridge. And they were now graduating and coming back and showing us their dummy books that were on the store. The work was just fabulous. It's always worth looking at the Cambridge store because it shows their graduates from last year. They give them a second opportunity to show for a second year after they've graduated, and their graduates obviously show. And there's so much interest and fuss around the store because it's where some of the best talent is.
Yeah, that was lovely. I spent some time on their stand, and seeing Heidi Griffiths was nice because she did our courses and then went on that course, the MA. I think she's won multiple awards. She is an award-winning illustrator, and she came for a chat, didn't she?
So did
lots of
Martin
students. Martin came for a chat, yeah.
A second mini podcast with him. Katie was running podcasts on the
Katie,
stall.
That was brilliant.
Like, the power went to my head because I had the mega microphones, and I was like, as soon as somebody seemed a little bit willing, I was like,
you were so good at that. It was brilliant.
I want to do it again.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how they agreed. Like, yeah, sit down, we'll run it live. And
there was one person who's either an agent or a publisher, and when they said that, I was like, oh, do you want to do a podcast? And she was like, now? And I was like, yeah. She's like, no. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I need like a week's notice. I was like, well, that's not going to happen, so go away.
I would have been that person if you'd come up to me. It's only now that I've been in the back of the trunk of the car for so long. I agree
I'm like,
to anything.
It'll be fine. I don't know what I'm going to ask you. We'll figure it out when I sit down.
I just love how human illustrators are. Do you know what I mean? My niece was with us, wasn't she? She was doing our social media, Holly. And she said to me one night, if this was I don't know, I've forgotten what she said now, what the example was. But she said if it was a convention of some other kind, we might see, I can't remember how she put it now. She was just saying this collection of people, meaning illustrators, are openly show their vulnerability, are very human, are straight into, immediately meet you, talk about drawing, talk about their life, like straight into the good stuff.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
I thought
small
that
talk,
was
there?
yeah, that's it. I really enjoyed that, and it was really interesting for Holly to be an outsider and witness that. She was like, "These people are amazing. I love these people."
I think it's really different from other parts of the illustration world because, okay, there are illustration festivals around the world, but the picture book people are different because children are their end user. There's so much warmth and kind of trust and kindness amongst the illustrators, and a lack of competition. Even though everyone knows they're in competition with each other, it's not apparent the way it is in editorial or design illustration. People really support each other, I think, a lot more. I mean, that might be a bit of a controversial view, but there's more community, and the link with the writers as well really helps because you feel like you're all in it together. And at the book fair as well, because the publishers are selling rights, and that's the reason they're there, illustrators feel a bit like cockroaches. So then they all band together at the fair, like, we're the great unwanted, but this whole industry runs on us. And if we weren't here, it's quite an interesting kind of dilemma. And I think the Bologna Picture Book Fair recognised that by having the Illustrator Survival Corner. They thought we were a byproduct to begin with, which is quite crazy when you think what the industry is. But they obviously support illustrators a lot more now. And I think that their presence will just be showcased even more as it goes along.
It has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't understand how the industry kind of functions without addressing the role of illustrators and writers, obviously. But it's a publisher's sales fair. But it's a lot more fun because the illustrators and writers are there. It'd be very dry without us.
Mm.
It was fun to meet brand new people as well. Like some
Yeah.
people came over with their samples and they were like, "Can I give you these? Are you a publisher?" And I was like, "You can give me them because I'm nosy, but we're actually an online art school and I just want to have a look." And they're like, "Oh, you're not a publisher? What?" Just confused because we looked so nice and everything. But yeah, like it was also interesting. There was a lady I was talking to. Maybe she was organising events or something. So we got invited to India for something.
Yeah, we've been invited to all sorts. I'm just
Bulgaria?
waiting for all the emails coming in. Taiwan, India, Bulgaria. Agents who would like to give us outstanding students. So yeah, now I think we've all been inundated with opportunities, and we just have to let it all settle and see what's next.
I thought at one point, okay, I'm just going to be the good ship agency and I'll be the agent and I'll look after it. Because people kept coming saying,
You'd make a
we're
fantastic
looking for...
agent, wouldn't you?
I'd mess it all up. I can't type properly or spell, but my
You
emails
need to
would be
able
dreadful.
to. You'd have an assistant for that.
You can
Okay.
stride around the office dictating emails.
Or maybe if that's all I have to do, or remembering the illustrators I like to pass on to these people. Because people kept coming up to the stall and saying, "Do you know, we're looking for illustrators." I was like, say it again. We're looking for illustrators.
Yeah, I had spoke to a few publishers and agents who were saying, "We're looking for illustrators. Could you help?"
It's hard to believe, isn't it? But I think it's because there's so many illustrators that those people really value somebody like us who sees so many and can pick out the sparkly ones.
I think it's that thing again about illustrators want a stamp of approval. So they want somebody that they like to say, "Look at this illustrator."
It'd be so much fun being an agent because there's so many great illustrators. I'd love to be passing out names of people's work that we love to people who hopefully would be good clients and treat them well. But yeah,
I'd really like to find a way that we can give those people opportunity, because at the book fair we spoke to so many incredibly talented people, and we've got a big bag full of all the samples everybody posted in the postbox, which we've yet to sit down and go through together. But if we could find a way of giving those people that opportunity, because people are looking to us to say, "So who are your great students?" We need a page on the website, don't we, of people whose work stands out and we love it and we want publishers to see it. We need to curate this somehow. We haven't worked out how, but this is part of the plan, isn't it?
It would be so good.
a kind of light touch system, like that page "Women Who Draw," which I think, was it Julia Rothenstein set it up? I don't think it exists anymore because a lot of people have been to see it and it's disappeared. It was a brilliant website of women illustrators called Women Who Draw, or Women Who Illustrate, I think is what it was called. And they didn't act as an agent, but it was a showcase. So there must have been some level of curation, though. We probably had about like 500 female illustrators on it, a page each, which would be such a nice idea, a good ship showcase.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. We should do that. Because we've got illustrators looking for work, and we've got publishers and agents looking for illustrators, and they're all looking at us. We need to find a way to connect all these things
It's almost
together.
a
don't we?
no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a no-brainer. First of all, we can have a web page and we can curate some of the work we really love. That would be a start, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We had, and Jo Overend was there having such a great time with Megaduck.
She was.
One of our illustrators she's done Find Your Creative Voice and the Picture Book course. And then she's gone to Walker Books with her idea about Megaduck. If you look
We
online,
introduced her to Walker Books
Yeah.
because she won our one-on-one mentoring competition. We had 3 winners that time. I can't remember who everybody else was now, but anyway, that we set up that call for her to have one-on-one mentoring with us 3 and Deirdre and Maria at Walker.
Yeah.
And that's where they met Jo. And because Jo is so ambitious for her work, and she grabs every opportunity. Yeah. After that meeting, when they'd loved Megaduck, I remember sharing her Instagram page on the Zoom call, sharing that and scrolling through it to show them how prolific and brilliant she is on Instagram all the time. And they saw Megaduck there and they loved it. But Jo didn't just leave it up to them then. She made them a fantastic gift, like a box with some Megaduck things in it and lots of postcards. You know how great she is at making these lovely, quirky little gifts and boxes. She sent that to them so they didn't forget who she was. And then this relationship happened. Next thing, she's got this fantastic deal. And at Bologna, Megaduck was blown up huge on one of the main boards on the Walker stand. And they sold, I don't know how many co-editions, and they don't usually tell you to afterwards, but they were obviously so excited that they were telling her that they'd sold co-editions, which they don't do that very often, so they must have been excited.
Everyone wants a piece of Megaduck.
Everybody wanted a piece, and other publishers from all over the world were coming over and saying, "Where's the duck? Show me the duck."
It's such a brilliant story, and we're going to get Jo on a podcast soon just to talk about the inception of all of this, because it's like a fairy tale. I mean, she worked really hard for it, but it is amazing. It's such a great story.
She put everything into action. She did that course and she just grabbed it and ran with it and did all the work she needed to do. Yeah.
She's also a mum of two young children. She's got a lot on her plate. And she just amazes me how much energy she puts into it. It's hard work, but it's doable. I mean, her commitment to her own ambition is really clear.
Because we had a chat to her. Didn't she say she was posting like 3 times a day on Instagram for a while or something?
She did.
She was posting so much per day and she's like, I just did it.
She said even if she wasn't really sure she liked the image, even if it was just something very ephemeral she thought nobody would like, she was posting at the beginning when she'd done our course 3 times a day.
It was 3 times, yeah. I remember being like, that is a lot.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah. Well, it puts her under the noses. And I think that's it. Publishers want to see you again and again in lots of different contexts to feel that approval that, well, I saw them on Instagram and they're always popping up on my feed and I like how they chat. And then the good ship were talking about them and she won the one-on-one mentoring. And then she had the connection with picture hooks. I think she did something with picture hooks, although I might not.
She was at the speed dating.
Yeah. And I think that the way to get into children's publishing is to turn up in lots of places so that you're just like in front of the publisher's eyes going, hello, oh, that's them again. Oh, look, there they are again. And I think that is the key to being published, and she was really good at doing that, really consistent.
Laser focused.
Yeah, and just went for it. Yeah.
And her drawings of Megaduck are very fresh and very quick, so I think she works in Procreate as well, so she had a lot of material to post, and she wasn't too, like you said, she wasn't thinking, oh, this is a quick drawing, I can't post it. That's exactly what worked, was showing the quick drawings. And Megaduck is such a kind of fresh expression and a fresh kind of illustration that she can produce a lot of work, and there's lots to keep posting on Instagram.
I really enjoyed meeting Lisa Loffredo as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's so gorgeous. I love her so much. And she did our picture book course, and then she was in the Illustrators exhibition last year. This year that book is out, and Jerry managed to buy us 4 copies and join the queue and get her to sign them.
And you know,
she's
in Korea this week because she was shortlisted for the Nami Concours prize. And then, I mean, that prize is, I think it's one of the most difficult to get into because it's a really well-respected Korean judging panel. And I think she got, is it the Magic Fountain in there? That's her second book. She's had such an amazing year after the first book when she left Picture Book Course. And her style is just so her. It's so unusual. So it's Lisa Loffredo if you're going to look her up.
I love her. We got a fantastic photo as well.
It's on our LinkedIn.
Me and Tanya and Lisa are all small and Katie's really tall. We look like her 3 babies.
My children. My Bologna children.
And I really enjoyed chatting to Andrea Lieb.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to miss so many. I mean, I spoke to thousands of people. I'm going to leave loads of people out, but I really enjoyed chatting with her. She did our picture book course and she's got lots of really exciting things happening now. In fact,
loads of books going on. She's being art directed by Mark Majowski on a book at the moment. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Really
Isn't that
interesting
exciting?
work.
Also, do you remember how we had these 1,500 gift bags to pack? We didn't think that through when we got there properly, did we? We were just like, there's the bags, there's the stuff. We'll just put them in. 1,500 bags, that is more work than you imagine. Yeah. So every time we had some illustrators who needed a seat for a minute, we'd say, well, you can have a seat if you don't mind packing a few bags. And it turned into a really lovely little room at the back of illustrators chatting and debriefing about their day at the fair whilst packing bits of rock and tattoos and stickers into stripy bags for us.
There were lots of people doing tattoos as well. We had these gorgeous tattoos that Helen made, and she said, oh, they're all wrong. They've come out too small. And I've tried to have them reprinted. But in the event, they were absolutely perfect. They were these beautiful, thin black lines, nothing too invasive. But people were tattooing themselves on the store. We had the whole wet cloth system going.
I really enjoyed it, Tanya, when your feet were tired and you sat at the table. And you sat like at the table with such like
workmanlike.
Yeah, workwoman-like. That's it. Like such business, and you had your wet cloth in your hand and your scissors, and you were tattooing everybody. I really wanted to get you a little visor or something. It was so funny. It was brilliant.
Right, who's next?
I felt right at home. Someone came on and did a few neck tattoos, didn't they?
Yeah, somebody did a neck tattoo. I love that. And and there were little anchors and swallows and things, and we were putting them on our knuckles. And then there was a couple of guys came over with full sleeve tattoos that they allowed us to put our little good ship tattoos in the gaps.
Oh, we have to make more of them. They're so cute.
The next batch arrived. You know, I ordered a batch, and when they arrived, I was disappointed. And I was apologising to you two, like, these are terrible. They turned out to be really great at the fair, and I actually really liked them by the end of the fair. When I got back, the other box that I'd ordered had arrived. So you need to see those because those are really good. I've got good shape to go across your
knuckle
knuckles
dusters
in really good typeface. Yeah.
Does that mean that we have to go back next year then?
We have. I think we'll have to because there are a lot of tattoos to use up.
We had so much stuff. We had we really got into weighing everything, like bags of sweets. We all had a kilo of sweets each, and then a load of tattoos. On the print as well. Katie had experience with Italian print because we ran out of leaflets.
That was brilliant. You rang the Italian printer from the back of the stand with all that noise.
I was being really organised, I thought, and I was like, I've arranged it beforehand, we're going to pick up on Monday, but then they were very Italian about it and just didn't tell me if it had been done or not. So I emailed them and they didn't reply, and then I phoned them and they were like, I was like, do you speak English? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh no. Okay.
Taxi time.
Yeah, so I was like trying my very best terrible Italian to be like, we've ordered some, are they there? And then even when I got to the printers in a taxi, I held up the leaflet and he was like, yeah, we do them all the time. And I was like, yeah, I know you're a printer, but like, I need these printed. He's like, yeah, we do them all the time. But what he was saying was, we've done loads of them. We spent loads of time printing your prints and they're ready to pick up.
But no one at any point said to you on the phone or in the email, your prints are ready.
No. And the lady that I was emailing, they were like, oh, Francesca, she's on holiday. I was like,
How many kilos of print was it? When it was like 6 boxes of leaflets.
It was 6 boxes, and they were like, there you go. And I was like, it's like taller than me, Nelly, these boxes. Could you phone me a taxi? And he was like, never in my life have I called a taxi. And I was like, could you call one now? Please, for me.
How do you expect me to do? Yeah. There were so many things to do with the fair that were really complicated. All the prep before, I have to have a shout out to Margaret Tantow, who I saw at the brand licensing fair in London a few months back, and she bought all her stall with her best friend. I think there were maybe 2 women with her maximum, and they had 2 suitcases each, and they put up this brilliant stall. And she said, oh yeah, it's easiest to do it, to make sure you can bring it on a flight with you. So we managed to do it by carefully distributing bits of weight between each other, and nothing was sent via shipping because it just puts a fear of God in me, going to docks or airports to get boxes that haven't turned up.
What about the poor stand next door?
People, next door to us. None. What happened? You know, because they told you.
They brought everything in suitcases like we did, but they went missing on the flight.
And on the flight they lost them?
Yeah, when they got off the flight, the bags were not there and they'd gone somewhere else.
But then they sent the bags back to London.
So they said, don't worry, the bags are being sent now so you can get them in the morning. So in the morning, they rang them and said, so where are the bags? And they said, well, in London, of course. And they said, we weren't going to London, we were going to Bologna.
So they had nothing to put on a stall that they'd booked.
So they very quickly printed up some posters in Italy, somewhere, a printer like you, Katie, put up some posters and had
mocked
a
up
handful
books,
of books, nothing. And on the last
penultimate
day, in the evening or first thing in the morning, somebody took their posters. I was thinking about that, though. I don't think anybody will be malicious, because on the last day, everybody starts taking down their stands. And some stands look abandoned, don't they? And
That's
they are
true,
abandoned.
And maybe they thought they weren't.
And because the stand was half empty anyway, because their bags hadn't arrived, I think somebody just thought they've gone home and just took their posters.
But they still had meetings the next day with publishers. Oh, it was heartbreaking. But that whole thing of doing a stand for the first time, we were completely green and totally winged it. And we were so lucky. Nothing went wrong. And everything worked out.
We really were. When they said their bags had gone missing on the flight, I thought, wow, we were lucky.
Yeah, I was like, that thought hadn't even entered my mind. Like, I hadn't remembered to worry about that.
I had thought about it, but I repressed the thought.
It's the best way.
Some of the reflections on going to Bologna, though, I'm really sorry, we're being Bologna bores, but there's so much. It was big. It was a lot. But walking around it as a non-picture book maker, I've never really seen myself as a picture book maker, although I did a small amount of non-fiction for travel books for children, which was a minor project. And I always think I'm the outsider at Bologna Book Fair. But looking at the non-fiction books, I'm like, oh, I wish I'd known this existed when I left college, because I thought books were nothing to do with me. I was an editorial illustrator, or I worked for design groups or advertising, and books were not my business. But all these lovely non-fiction books were everywhere, and I've taken loads of photos of them, and I'm going to put them all in a module at some point in the course. But it's a real home for editorial designers or packaging designers, or all breeds of illustrators could be commissioned by non-fiction editors. And they were saying it's such a growth area, like narrative non-fiction, if you think about, is it Big Dreams, Little People? I mean, that's 150 titles now doing historical or biographical non-fiction. And there were loads more books that were teaching children about the world, about history, about climate, nature, all kinds of things. And they're telling them in different ways. So they're using a lot of sequential imagery and comic imagery. I was speaking to one of the editors on the Magic Cat stall. And if I've still got that film, we can put that in, because it was really interesting. Just saying there are so many different ways of laying out a page to tell a story now. So there's a huge growth in non-fiction. And I wish I'd known that when I'd left college. I really, really do, because I would have loved to have worked more in publishing. So tiny violins for me, please.
I'm playing one now.
No regrets, Tanya.
No.
You did good stuff. And you're still doing good stuff.
I was going to say, it's still going.
Yeah.
What were any of your reflections?
I feel like I'm still I haven't landed after it. So I don't know what my reflections are yet, other than I had a really good time and I would like to go back.
We also had a beautiful place, didn't we, that we daren't film because people would think we were really rich and lauding it about. But what Katie had worked out was she found a second floor apartment, which basically was a palazzo.
Yeah. I sent the link as a joke to start with. I was like, lol, look at this, guys. I'm going to stay here. But then when I started looking at hotels, because there was 6 of us, it's going to be 5 rooms or something, it actually worked out cheaper to be in this palace than it would have been.
And
in
it
a
had
hotel.
frescoes on the ceilings and everything. It was incredible. It had fabric painted walls. It was ancient.
Yeah.
Holly and I on our travels went to Lucca, and when we were there was this fantastic old Italian walled garden. So we went for a look in there, and then we realised there was a museum we could have a look around, and it was like the palace of somebody who'd lived there. And it was exactly like our apartment. We were looking around and going, oh, our apartment actually could be a museum, because it wasn't even as nice as our apartment.
Did you feel like you were home again?
Yeah.
So homey.
But it actually worked out cheaper than sad old businessmen hotels, didn't it? Per head, this was a better deal. But we didn't want to take many pictures of it because it looked so swanky.
It looked like we'd paid an absolute fortune for it, but it wasn't.
No, go in a big cruise.
Shall we just get it booked in for next year?
I was just
Should we
thinking,
book it immediately so we can stay there next year?
we're definitely going to go next year. It was just too good not to do it.
Do they publish next year's dates already?
Yes, in fact, there were posters up with next year's dates at the fair.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll book it.
And so if anyone's thinking to do it, start saving up now, because it's just amazing. I think, especially if you live a long way away, like one of our shippers came from the Philippines a couple of years ago, and it was a big deal for her to do that. But to see the whole world of picture books under one roof is utterly mind-blowing. All your preconceptions about what picture books are blown away by seeing how broad the interpretation of picture books are, and the progressive visual sensibilities of different publishers. I mean, the Illustrators exhibition itself, the competitive Illustrators exhibition, is just a thing of beauty, isn't it?
It is. It's like pure art.
Yeah, and if
It
you
makes
want...
you're always like looking at things like, I wish I had done something this cool.
This is, I don't know quite how to talk about this. I was talking to you about it before, but because I haven't quite got my head around it. But the progressive nature of the incredible work you see at Bologna, I don't know what it's like for other parts of the world, but as an illustrator in the UK, for me, starting in the 90s, I thought all publishing, at the time, there was a lot of pen and ink, and I thought all illustration looked like that. In fact, I went to one publisher once who told me that my work, at the time, I wasn't using pen and ink, who told me that all illustration had to be, and I had an argument with him.
Wow.
And I wish I'd visited Bologna Book Fair even before I was published, or the first year or two, because I would have seen that the things publishers were telling me, that the whole of illustration was pen and ink, all eyes had to be this way, head shapes has to be that way, and cuteness is the key, and no brown, and all those things I heard early days, they were all completely wrong. And publishers all over the world were making those beautiful books, and I had no idea. So I feel like I got bent out of shape by bad art directors. One visit to the Bologna Book Fair, early days, perhaps before my first book, would have made me confident to say, no, get lost, I'm not going to be published by you then. Yeah. I really wish I'd known that.
Hindsight, innit?
Yeah.
There's a lot of hindsight there. I think one of the things that's really useful as well, on a really bog standard practical level, is you get this free pocket guide. And go on eBay and see if anyone's selling their Bologna Fair pocket guide, because it lists all the publishers that are there. So even if you couldn't make the fair, if you can get the pocket guide, you have a hard copy of publishers all around the world. And then during the day, the Bookseller magazine comes around and gives you an edition of their bookseller every day. And the one that I took home is full of literary agents with the name of the literary agents and their individual editors within that agency doing an elevator pitch for the book that they took to Bologna. So you get a sense, especially maybe as a writer, but as an author illustrator, oh, that book sounds like the kind of thing that I'm interested in. Okay, you can't visually see them, but you get a sense of the book. And you've got a full list in that issue of the Bookseller of agencies and what they're looking for, whether it's pirates or whether it's non-fiction or blah, blah, blah. There's about 10 pages of it. It's like goldmine information. And if you look for, I put this on our Facebook group, the actual list, because you can get an online version. If you look, I think April the 16th, Bookseller edition, it's online. And, you know, all these connections, you don't have to work with local publishers in your country. You can connect with publishers who publish work that suits the style or language of the work that you're doing. And you might think, oh, yeah, I would really work with some of the Taiwanese or Chilean publishers. Because, you know, and the Portuguese as well, all the Planeta, Tangerina stuff. There's so many gorgeous publishing houses.
We bought extra suitcases to take over because we had so much stuff.
Well, this is embarrassing because we were having so much fun chatting about Bologna. Actually, we got 3 episodes in and then we looked and the microphones were not recording, so...
But that might be handy for you because you probably heard enough of us banging on about it, but we were so excited we had to get it out of our system. Sorry about that, but there'll be no more of it.
I think if we tried to pick up where we left off, we're going to repeat ourselves. Also, I know it's only a week ago, but now Bologna seems so long ago, I can't remember anything.
Yeah, so that's the end of the Bologna chat, and thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with a full episode. Probably.
Hopefully.
If we don't mess it up. Yeah. Bye for now.
Bye.